Hey there, StarCraft fans! It's Falcon Paladin coming at you with yet another edition of StarCraft Brood War Remastered! Today, it's a special patron edition of this cast. I said I would broadcast one additional Brood War replay for patrons of mine at patreon.com/FalconPaladin for at least $1 a month. It's going to be Yoda versus Funny here on Fighting Spirit. Got this off of bwreplays.com. It is their replay of the month. And so they screened through all of their replays, chose this one to be the replay of the month. So I'm pretty sure it's an amazing game. Top left-hand corner, we have the Blue Zerg player. It is Yoda. Yoda is Russian. He organizes some events of his own. He's a pretty cool dude, according to his Liquipedia page. And then the Korean player in the bottom right here, it is Funny, which could also be Puma. He could go by, but it's Funny here on BW Replays, and it's going to be Funny here on the cast as well. So purple versus blue, which indicates it's going to be a very excellent game because purple and blue are two of the best colors in all of StarCraft Brood War. But yeah, if you're watching this, thank you for supporting me. Thanks for supporting me out here on patreon.com/FalconPaladin for at least $1 a month, which, let's be honest, where do you live in the world where you can't be walking down the street and find $1 in change per month where you live? Are there places where this is not possible? I guess maybe some African countries, some places in South and Central America, maybe some places in Asia, and maybe even some places in Europe. But I'm just saying, it's not much. It is not much. I appreciate your support. I love it. I love you. I understand that there's some people who cannot do this, and I get it. I'm not telling anybody to do something they can't do. But if you feel like supporting the channel, this is a way you can, and some extra bonuses that come along with it. Probe Scouting is Funny. Hey, Funny, what's up, man? What you going to see here? Well, it's going to be hatch first. Falcon, thank you for asking. As the drone did sneak past me, get that hatchery down at about 12 supply. Then the other side, we're going for the Forge Expand for Funny, and doesn't quite have the resources available to throw down that Nexus yet. But that probe will head back on out, and we'll get there. We'll get fairly close before all is said and done. So, Forge Fast Expand is pretty darn safe. Is this a cannon rush? Is this a legit cannon? No, it can't be. Holy crap, it is. He looked like a Forge Expand, but nope. I was wondering where his resources went. His resources went here. We saw Bisu try this on the channel just a few days ago, and it didn't work out super well. Oh, nicely done. Getting through the minerals, doing the secret mineral walk maneuver to get on in there. How many of these drones can actually attack this cannon? It looks like 3. 3 are on it, 3 forced to cancel, and no way, Jose. Nice try with the cannon rush. You're going to lose that cannon. You're going to lose these pylons. A lot of lost mining time here from Yoda too. But he scouted it. He saw it coming. Funny says Trima? Tirma. I don't know. I don't know if that's Russian or what, but he says Tirma. And now here is something. I don't know that Yoda really needs to be killing these pylons. He decides not to. He's going to let them stand for the time being. He does have lings on the way. By the time another cannon shows up, if even a probe was on the way to set that up, it wouldn't really matter. So lings are going to knock that stuff down, and this just hurts. This hurts immensely for Funny in the early game to have that shut down like that. But we can recover. We can recover if you're Protoss, just because you got your cannon rush shut down. Grivaya Therma, he says. I don't know. Maybe Funny is not the Korean player Puma after all. If he's speaking Russian to him and expecting him to understand what's going on, could just be another Russian. Anyway, the pylon gets taken down. Another pylon's going to die here too, etc., etc. Nothing too crazy going on at this stage of the game. And yeah, third base is going to be set up right about there. So Yoda feeling extremely safe at this stage. Has he even scouted there's a Nexus down here? I'm not convinced that he has. I really haven't seen any Lings or Overlords cruise across the map at all. Another probe does show up just for some scouting information. Recognizes the pylons are down. They can't throw up any cannons. It'd be dumb to do so anyway. Cybernetics core coming in now from Funny. And there it is. Not really walling off all that much either. I kind of feel like about 15 Lings could get in here and really ruin Funny's day. But there's a third base. That was a lot of resources spent there. There's a lair coming up. That's a ton of resources too. There's a lot of drones. A lot more resources. Where are these Lings? Oh, he doesn't even know. He doesn't even know where Funny is, let alone scouted this. Alright, man, it's cool. You're playing blind. All you know is that your opponent went for a cannon rush, which you shut down, which prompted you to go for a third base. Ugh. I mean, if this was a one-base gateway-style attack here out of Funny, I feel like Yoda would be in a ton of trouble, but as it stands, it kind of worked out for him. Funny's able to get an expansion up, able to get a Stargate running and ready to rock. Speed is finally getting research for these Zerglings, but it's late. And a Zealot does wander on in here. Where are you? Did I see a Zealot up here? And that's just a probe. That's just a probe. There's a Zealot. 2 Zealots defending right now. 2 Zealots in a cannon can handle a good number of Zerglings, especially with this nice wall off here. The Lings have to go all the way around, I think, to even get in here. And that just stinks. Maybe they could slip in this little area, but there's probes that'll start biting on you too if you're not careful. So yeah, probe goes home. Throwing down a macro hatch here at the front door. Nothing too crazy, honestly, from Yoda at this point. And there's your Spire. All right, so Spire in production right now. How much gas does he have? He just has the 1 gas, which tells me he's going for those Scourge, just to deal with the Corsairs that are surely going to come from Funny's base. He just knows that's what to expect here. Zergling, sacrificial Lings do get in and see there is a Nexus. So I think that's the first confirmation that Yoda has. There's a Nexus here, but also confirmation there haven't been stuff attacking you from the Protoss side for the last couple of minutes here. That is how you know. Yeah, still no second extractor there. I'm just going to go ahead and make a few of these Scourge to deal with these Corsair that are in production. There's 1 cruising on in. No Hydras and no Spores and no Spire yet. Man, is that a Hydralisk Den? It is. It's a Hydralisk Den in production, but it's a little bit too late, man. That Spire is far away. This Corsair is going to get, I want to say, at least 2 Overlord kills, despite the fact that it takes 42 plus hits for it to actually take an Overlord down. The Overlords do not have speed. They cannot run from this Corsair. This timing is not good out of Yoda. I've cast a bunch of ZVP recently, and when this Corsair shows up, you either want to have Scourge or you want to have some Hydralisks. It's really bad if you don't have anything when this first Corsair shows up. It is going to supply block Yoda temporarily. There it is. Another Overlord is in production, but this is a nice little comeback here from Funny. He lost that initial cannon rush quite brutally, but he's trying to make it up by supply blocking Yoda at a pretty important part of the game. You don't want to be supply blocked at 7 minutes, do ya? I really don't think you do. Scourge are in production, but I don't know if they're going to get here in time. Are Hydras in production too? Not really. So, another kill. This Corsair has 3 kills here, horribly supply blocking Yoda. He's sending his Lings down. They're getting chewed up by Zealots. The Zealots are making a beeline for the 3rd base right now. There's nothing here at the 3rd base. Another Corsair is going after the Overlords. This is insane out of Funny. Further supply blocking. That is the what? The 3rd Overlord? 4th Overlord that has gone down? Zealots wander into the 3rd base. They're going to go ahead and try to take down these Sunkens before they pop, or at least the 1 is still pop. Corsair gets taken down by the Scourge. This Corsair that has all of the kills is fleeing for its life to the safety of cannons. Meanwhile, the Zealots do take down the Sunkens, but there's only 2 of them remaining. Their health, one of them is not super healthy, but the other one is actually not too bad here. The Scourge still chasing, and then pulling back and waiting for more Corsairs to come out of that Stargate before chasing that one down. Zealots getting right on top of drones. Dang, Funny is doing some work here with these Zealots. Absolutely shutting down this 3rd base wholesale. Some Lings come in, and there are 4 of them, but guess who's here? More Zealots. I love what Funny is doing here. Funny is going to take down this 3rd base. I think he can do it. The Lings are no match for these guys at all. Storm's being researched back home for Funny. There are some Hydras coming over to try to save this main hatch. I don't know if they can. The Lings are delaying. No, turn around and kill the Lings. Turn around and kill the Lings. There you go. Turning around and killing the Lings might delay your taking down of the hatch, but also it means you have a better chance of taking down the hatch. Although the Hydras show up, and you know what? It looks like Yoda just barely has managed to save his 3rd hatch after all. The Lings sacrificing themselves to make it happen, but I just feel like the resources lost here from Yoda are way more than they are for Funny. That said, Yoda has a 4th base. Still no 3rd quite yet here from Funny. He's setting one up, obviously, throwing up cannons at the 3rd base location down south to try to establish that. A DT actually has done some work over here. But there is a Sunken and there are Overlords. So, I mean, sure, you can pick off individual dudes here and there, but it's really not going to make all that much of a difference for you. More DT. DT Zealot showing up here, but again, Sunken Overlord Hydra, pretty good. Pretty good against this whole Zealot DT composition. Sure, the drones have to fight for their own lives, which is horrible news. DT does get evaporated there. Man, these Zealots putting in work. Drones are trying to save the life of their Sunken. This guy still He's got 3 kills. Bring the Overlord over. Zealot trying to take down the Sunken Colony by himself. No, he evaporates. The Dark Templar dies too. Great pressure put on so far from Funny in this match. I'm really, really liking what I see here out of Funny's play. About 200 APM. Same story here out of Yoda. Zealot's continually moving out. Storm is done, so defensive High Templar are definitely present at 2 of the bases anyway. And again, Zealots with legs that are fast are pretty good against Hydras in an open field. Especially in these numbers. I mean, they trade pretty effectively well. Coming on in, I cannot believe the number of Zealots that we are seeing here out of Funny. It feels like that one of those Bisu games I've cast where the Zealot pressure just killed a Zerg player in the first 6 minutes. I mean, we're past that now. Hydras continue to show up. Guess who's here? A million Hydralisks. Out of Yoda, guess who's here? A billion Storms, too. Yikes. All right, Storms are present. Cannon firing. DT here trying to help as well, but Speed Overlord making stuff happen. The third hatchery does go down from Yoda. That hurts quite a bit here. DT getting some swipes off before he gets messed up and killed. Continuing to send additional Hydras across the map. Archon trying to save the day. Archon actually not that good against Hydralisk, as it turns out. So the Hydra pressure here. Man, this is a good game. Thank you, BW Replays, for referencing this one and referring this one to me. My gosh, you have to bring the Zealots back home from that third base of Yoda's to actually defend here. This is amazing. So Dragoons show up. But my goodness, these are +1 Hydras. +1 attack is done for the gateway units for Funny too. But that Forge is going to go down. That's going to delay an upgrade. That +2 upgrade will be delayed here, which is just really bad. Actually, maybe it will not. Maybe it will not get delayed because we're trying to take down a cannon there. I don't know what that was. Pretty decent micro here from both players. Hydras are getting chomped on quite nicely, but additional Hydras showing up. And that is enough to force the Zealots home. I'm serious. Finish off the Forge, dude. You can do it. Trying to defend with gateway units versus Hydras is just brutal. Where's your additional Storm? Where are your additional High Templar? I don't know where they are. Once again, trying to save that +2 upgrade. This engagement just continued Hydra pressure, though, out of Yoda here. And yeah, there's no saving the Forge at this point. It does go down a little bit later than I thought. +2. +2 attack is denied there. Fantastic play out of Yoda. Hydras continuing to push on in and out and around. And the Hydras may feel like, you know what, job well done here. It is 75 to 53 supply, which is pretty even at this stage of the game. Ooh, the Corsairs flying right over those Hydras and just getting absolutely melted. Yoda is not replacing his third base. He's not making additional drones. He's happy with the economy that he has, which honestly is okay, but I don't know if he knows about this third base. Another Corsair got picked out. I think that's what that was. High ground, High Templar. Does not have energy for Storm yet, but he certainly would like to. Lurker Aspect coming in for the follow-up. That's going to be brutal for Funny to deal with. And there's your Storm to the low ground. Oh. 3 Hydras go down. Countless others are bruised there from that Storm. Dragoon dies as it takes the bad pathing path. And pretty good micro here, right? You don't have to take hits unless you want to. If you're Yoda, and he don't want to right now, absolutely. Where the heck was that Zealot going? I don't know, but suddenly Funny might end up losing this natural base, guys. This is some brutal, brutal Hydra pressure right now. Good Storm! Oh, 4 kills on this High Templar. Look at all those Hydra corpses down there. That is fantastic. Funny looks like he's going to hold this thing. He's trying. He's trying real hard to hold this thing. Oh, gosh. I cannot believe the pressure here either. I've not seen this much dedicated Hydra pressure in a game ever that I've cast, I don't think. This is just Yoda like, you know what's really good? +1 Hydras. You know what's good behind that? Lurkers. And he does. He makes a single Lurker. He's microing his Hydras versus these Zealots pretty well here. These guys need to come in and help, though. And they are. They are now, but too many Hydras end up going down. These Lurker eggs, they're morphing right on the front door. That probe transfer, I cannot believe that made it down there to that third base. That was nuts. Cannon out. That means detection's out. That means burrow the Lurkers in. And there it is. Now the Lurker getting those spines rocking right now. In range of that detection, the probes are pulling back. Funny is in a mountain of trouble. There are Lurkers and Hydras in his natural base. He does not have any detection to deal with them at all. Storming the high ground there was pretty good. But you need more than one storm to kill a lurker, as it turns out. The lurker spines hurting these zealots immensely. Oh, High Templar! High Templar! Oh, it's a storm off. Kills that one lurker. Takes a zealot there with it there, though. But I think the natural base is just going to die. Oh my gosh, High Templar picked off. High Templar picked off. Dark Templar almost picked off. Very close to dying and gets one shot off. Is still alive somehow, some way. The natural nexus goes down. The main base is in a huge amount of trouble. For funny, Cybernetics Core is going to die here too, but all the tech matters. For funny, I think it's here. 80 to 66 supply. Honestly, send some guys down to wipe this base out, Yoda. You're kind of killing me, Smalls. Your macro was great, but that's not what all takes you to be a great Brood War player. Your map awareness has to be good. You have to know this bottom base exists. You just do. I don't know that pushing up this ramp makes any sense for you at all. Not with Dragoons set up in a nice concave. Not with Storm being a nice possibility. Just don't do it. Don't you go up that ramp. All right, cool. Didn't go up the ramp. Now, south. Go south, young man. Leave some guys down here to mess up any attempts of Funny to break out of his main. But there are 4 cannons defending the third base right now. Oh, he's going for it. He's going for it. Funny is in a heck of a lot of trouble. He cannot let these cannons die. If these cannons die, all right, well, the cannons are dead. Some probes getting massacred here, too. Sure, there is, again, a cannon defending here, but it's just not enough. Coming from the backside, trying to save his base. It's Funny. He's got Zealots. He's got Dragoons. He's got DTs. He has detection. Coming up a ramp is a dangerous thing to do no matter who you are. Oh, throwing down the lurker eggs, trying to make it harder for Funny to come up the ramp there. Brilliant play. Eventually, the lurker eggs will die there, though. Where's your detection? Where's your overlord? Bring it up. DT getting too much work done. And Funny does actually manage to overwhelm this Hydralisk attack. Pulls back some of his probes there. Continuing to move on in here, though, is Yoda. And actually picking off some individual Dragoons. Ow, 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 ow. 4 kills on that High Templar. They just pay for themselves, don't they? And yeah, they might be dying here, but all right. So Yoda decides I do need a third base. How does that sound? Pretty good, I think. But yeah, 70 to 61 is not a place where Funny wants to be. He's replacing his natural base. He's getting additional High Templar. Whether they're for Storm or whether they're for Archons, I don't think it really matters now. I think he'll make that decision later on here. So Protoss base, a lot of idle probes down here. It's not good. He's got a lot of probes that are doing literally nothing for him, which he's going to go ahead and long distance mine from the natural base, as the natural nexus is just about back. It's 4 base to 3 base, and I think Funny has survived and stabilized. I think here at the 17-minute mark, really feeling like Funny is stabilized here, but Lurkers coming on in. Again, Dragoons are the answer to these Lurkers. There's enough Dragoons here. Actually, it makes some stuff happen every time the Hydras overextend. They're getting stormed. Funny is making great use of that spell. Queen's Nest just about done here from Yoda. Can't imagine that's for Queens. It's rather just instead gonna be for that Hive here about the 20-minute mark. I can't believe we're at 20 minutes. This game has been really fairly non-stop. There are attacks at the third base for Yoda. The natural base has been under assault for what feels like 10 minutes. Lurker's trying to actually delay here. You know what? Just take down that cannon. There we go. Cannons kind of suck against Hydras, especially if they have +1 attack. +2 is almost done. These Hydras are so good against buildings, too. No. That's rough. It's a rough call. Nice double storm there. Hydra count is down to 3. And he saved it. He saved his third base here. Hydras rolling into their devs at the front door of Funny. Additional Hydras, I think they're rallied down here and they're getting massacred. Well, he's rallying down here anyway. It's not great. Lurker out. Most of these probes have survived. Funny's up 79 to 62 overall supply. And yeah, I kind of feel like Funny has stabilized again. There was a moment there I thought he would lose his third, but his natural base is back. His third base is back. He really hasn't lost that many probes overall, so he's nicely saturated on all of these bases. Meanwhile, Funny has really not been able to put any pressure at all on Yoda throughout the last about 15 minutes of this match. So there's your Hive getting additional upgrades for Zerglings and Ultralisks right here in the melee attack upgrade. Additional gas being taken at the fourth base. Still no gas at his third, surprisingly enough. Has he mined out? He hasn't mined out his main yet. That's how few drones he's had up here running the whole time. I just feel like the economy is much better for Funny right now. He's up about 10 supply, which is not good. It's not good for the Protoss. He needs to be up more than that. I know I have argued in the past, and I will continue to argue, that supply is not the end-all be-all. If you have 100 supply of Zerglings versus 80 supply of Archons, sure, the Zerg player is up at that point, or fairly even, but no, the Protoss player will ruffle stomp that. So you have a lot of Hydralisks, but against Dragoon Storm, it's not really ideal. That is a lot of High Templar. I mean, we're looking at 4 High Templar here, all of them pretty fresh. All of them slowly regenerating that energy that allows them to get those storms off, and Yoda continuing to make nothing pretty much here but Hydralisks. Protoss is only up about 7 supply. 5th base now morphing in. That's the word, mutating in. It is yes, it is mutating in. Because it's a drone, and it mutates into a hatchery. I mean, that's a pretty big leap, honestly, but that's what StarCraft is all about. Adrenal Gland's coming in. He wants to go ahead and tech switch here into some Zerglings, which again, not good against not good against High Templar, but pretty good against Dragoons and Cannons, especially if they have the Adrenal Glands upgrade and additional attack and armor upgrades. Looks like Funny's going to try to take this base over here on the right side as the 4th, but oops, tried to sneak it in there. And you know what? The probe makes it out somehow. I don't know how you made it out of there, probe. It seemed like Yoda should have massacred you first, but I guess the pylon was a higher priority. So yeah, Lings are starting to be in production. Still, the Protoss player is just not quite able to pull ahead and supply as much as he wants to. Funny's like, well, maybe I had to get my 4th base down here, but there is an Overlord scouting that. Nicely done. He can see exactly where this probe is, where he might think about taking it. His Nexus. Yoda's been able to macro up pretty hard here, working on additional Lings. It's a Ling Hydra play with Lurkers. I'd like to see a Defiler round throw up. I mean, if you're going to deal with Protoss, Plagues are really important. Darkstorm is really important for your Lurkers too. And yeah, see the Lings roll down here, and they're like, hey, I heard you were trying to build a summer home in this bottom left-hand corner. Funny, how's that working out for you? Not well, because you sent Zerglings to kill all of it. Actually, hold on. Hold on. Okay, he saw it, and he's going to shut it down. If you let those cannons come up, it would make no sense at all. Yeah, so no 4th base for you. Temporarily, anyway. Got some Zealots wandering on in, and by that I mean getting dropped on in to the 4th base. Oh my gosh, there's a High Templar 2 storming some of these drones. That is a great storm there. 6 kills on that High Templar. He does get wiped out by a combination of a Zergling. Again, with Adrenal Glands and a Hydralisk. So that's not good. Right side base, Funny needs that if he's going to live. He absolutely needs it if he's going to live. So, I mean, he's sending his army up to solidify that position there. Yoda's at 104 supply. I mean, honestly, you've got about 1,000 resources. Expand twice down this left side. Take the middle base. Funny needs to establish this 4th. He really can't move on you at this point. I know it's easy to say in hindsight. It's easy to say from a caster perspective. I have been guilty of not doing that myself as Zerg. Not expanding when I am able to do so, and it makes a ton of sense to do so because I'm so focused on macro and just making as much stuff as I can that expanding doesn't really enter into it. So here comes a humongous Yoda attack. Cruising on in. The natural base is going to die. Literally, there's 1,000 gas left at this base, and that's it right now, so it doesn't matter. That there shuttle's in a lot of trouble here, too. Hydras, I don't know about going into the main base, dude. I kind of feel like you're trapped in here now. I guess going after all of the gateways is probably pretty worth it. The Hydra dodges are decent here. Oh, man, but that was not a good one at all. The storms are insanely good. Insanely good. 10 kill High Templar. That guy is. Ling's coming back here trying to do stuff, but they're just outnumbered. There's too many units. Zealots have +2. Yeah, they do have +2. A replacement force was created at some point. And +3 is actually on the way here now. Alright, Defiler Mound, Ultralisk, Cavern. We're working on all those things here from Yoda, so we are going to get our money's worth out of the Zerg player. Full energy High Templar, just hanging out at the 3rd. Just waiting for a Zerg attack. Don't mind me, just going to storm everything if anything shows its head around this area. 93 to 84 supply. Yoda has a lead, but a lot of his Ling Hydralisk. And against this Zealot Dragoon Storm Archon composition, doesn't seem super great. Alright, Lings. I keep forgetting I can't do that. Lings! Getting on in here on top of these Dragoons. The High Templar is kept alive. Doesn't have the energy for storms at all. More and more Lings cruising on in. This is a lot. Oh, Archon explodes under the weight of +1/+1 cracklings. And Funny is actually forced to retreat here. Literally, all he has are a handful of Dragoons, and they're going to trade just horribly versus these Zerglings. Another High Templar dies. I don't know if these are Paniclings or Strategiclings that Yoda is working on, recognizing the high Dragoon count. And chasing Funny all the way back. Oh, Yoda tossing out the bad manner. Throwing out the easy. He is up 101 to 78 supply, which is a horrific position for Funny to be in here. But don't go up the ramp. Don't go up the ramp. Don't go up the ramp. Or maybe there's no... There we go. That's what I'm talking about. That's the storm I'm talking about here. Yoda has absolutely made the cardinal mistake of not going up the ramp. Sheesh. It's just the units lost here is going to be huge for Yoda, mostly going up this ramp. Look, man, if he's starved, it doesn't matter how many gateways he has. Wipe out this third base. Yeah, I mean, I think Funny is just done at this point. I don't know what Yoda's talking about here. I don't know. I feel like that's offensive in some language. Maybe somebody in the comments can translate that for me. I don't know. Wow, that was a lot of deadlings there. That's 7 kills on that Archon. Another Lurker goes down there too. 13 kills on this Archon. High Templar, I think they're new. No, 6 kills on that one. Not too shabby. Overlord just hanging out. I don't think these were drop lords. I don't think they were intending to do anything that way. Yoda's making some Ultralisks, but yeah, I mean, expanded on the left side. Yoda has taken this north base too. He's making Ultralisks, of which there's really no answer to those here. Archons, maybe. But Zealots, not really. Dragoons, not really. I'm not sure what these drones are all about here. Expanding down here would be pretty nice, to be honest. Whoa, that's way more Ultras than I thought he had. All right, so Yoda's working on a giant Ultralisk army. They have 4 armor and 2 attack right now. And they're going to come and try to get a bit of a sandwich here on Funny's army. Coming down this left side to wipe out his attempt at like a 7th base or something. I don't even know what this number is going to be here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th base. Hey, I was right. Here we go. It is the Ling Ultralisk Horde. Storm gets rid of most of the Zerglings, which is great, actually. Really very good. That needs to be a canceled hatch. And it is not. So that's fine. No refund for you. It's cool. Once again, attacking into an entrenched Protoss position. Not what I would recommend for Yoda. I do like the number of Ultras that are present. The Lings would have been better if they hadn't gotten stormed into oblivion. The Zealots actually buffering for the +3 Archons to do a ton of work here. Versus these Ultras, and they're getting wiped out. Wow. 14 kill Archon, 9 kill Archon. Dragoon might survive, and it does not survive. Well, the Ultra doesn't survive. The Dragoon actually survives thanks to these Archon friends, which are just putting on a show right now. 14 kills and 16 kills on these dudes. Ling Ultra again that try to come in versus these heroic Archons. Oh my gosh. 20 kill Archon. They are the hero Archons of this match. Is Funny going to come back and win this thing? We're 29 minutes into it. It's 87 to 79 supply. Still the Zerg player is up, which is really bad. Really bad for Funny. The good news for Funny is that we haven't seen any Defilers yet. Defilers are getting produced. Consume is being researched. But really, against this many Archons, what you really want to tech into here are Hydralisks, Yoda. Not Ultra, not a Ling Ultra, a bunch of Hydralisks. The Storm is pretty much out at this stage. I don't even know how many High Templar remain. Look at these Zealots. Well, there's one. Look at these +3 Zealots holding the line against the oncoming Zergling Horde. They are like 300 here. for Sparta. Meanwhile, DT's up here at the north base, and Yoda going to lose a ton of drones up here now. Whack, 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 they say. Lings running to their deaths. Yoda just has this fixation with running up ramps and losing all of his stuff. Alright, in fairness, that kind of worked out. Lings are now continuing to pour in right now, but there are cannons present. But man, cracklings just do not care. They really mostly don't about your cannons. That said, there's only like 4 here, so I think we're okay. These zealots should be able to hang on. Although more Lings are cruising in. I don't know. The funny thing is, though, that Funny took this base. That was going to be Yoda's 7th. So that's where the 4th actually ends up coming from. It's late. It's really late. Yoda is throwing out some... I don't know. I don't know what he's saying, but I just feel like he's upset. The DT has wiped out this northern base, you guys. 14 kills and 6 kills on those Dark Templar. I mean, there's Hero Archons in this match. 22 kill Archon. There's Hero Dark Templar in this match. Plague being researched. Once again, I don't know why you're coming up this ramp. I don't like it for you, man. I like Ultras as a unit, but not when they're forced to attack one at a time up a ramp versus Zealots with Storm fighting. Yoda. Yoda's down to 61 supply. Are you kidding right now? Archon Ultralisk, simultaneous death. DT has 7 kills. Look at this Zealot holding the line while the DT actually does the damage there. And look at how this match has swung. It has absolutely swung here. 72 to 60 supply in favor of the Protoss. Happily mining off of 1 base. Left base got wiped out by, I assume, Dark Templar. I was not paying attention to that, unfortunately, but it's gone now. Scourge running around trying to find Overseers to kill. I assume maybe shuttles. We really haven't seen those for a while, though. Additional DT continuing to cruise out across the map. Man, these Archons, though. Just gonna watch that number continue to increase here as Yoda just throws Zergling after Zergling into the meat grinder. That are these Archons with the +3 attack. They do splash damage, dude. They hit really hard. DT's trying to find something else to kill. I mean, at this base, did it get replanted? No, it didn't. Why are you heading up there? You know there's nothing there. Yeah, I think Yoda's just in panic Zergling Ultra mode. I've been there. I know how this feels, Yoda, but you can't do it. You gotta make some defilers. I know you're trying to keep the pressure on Funny so he doesn't attack you, but if... Going up this ramp is abject suicide. You have to wipe out this base if you're going to win this game. I mean, that's a free Zealot, okay? Fine. Some damage to be had there, but units killed here is just going to be so in favor of the Protoss, it's not even funny. Haha! Not even funny? See, are puns if they're accidental? I don't know that they are. Funny's taking another base in the bottom left-hand corner. Cannot believe these Archons, you guys. 28 kills on that dude. Hey, look, a Defiler. I don't know where the heck the other Defilers went. I'm not going to lie. I have not seen any Plagues get tossed down or Dark Swarm. Did he make them and he's hiding them somewhere? Seems entirely possible, but that said, they're not very good at hiding. They're more of an offensive unit than a defensive unit. Whereas High Templar are kind of both. They can defend and they can attack. Most importantly, they attack, right? That's how that works. That's how that works. All right, last stand here from Yoda. I think he has to wipe out this base, and I'm not convinced that he can. There's the Dark Swarm. Ultralisk not taking damage here from the cannons at all. Suddenly, Dark Templar, though, you know what? They are not affected by your Dark Swarm. The Archon splash damage is not either. The Zealots are not affected at the same time. The Storm is also not affected. So you know what? It's a lot of Dark Swarm getting tossed up right here. Another great Storm right on top of the Ultralisks. And Hero Archon has 33 kills. No, 34 on that final Ultralisk attack. He's killing Scourge. He's going to try to kill that Overlord and this Defiler if he can get around to it. I mean, some probes are getting wiped out here. That's a pretty good pickup there out of Yoda. Also, we managed to get some lings here inside the main. So suddenly we're kind of in a base race scenario right now. Dude, Yoda, you didn't just do this. You were way up and then you were way down, and now you're actually up 119 to 71 supply. He's kind of splitting up his units and sacrificing these lings to the god that this Archon is. He's got 44 kills, this Archon does. 45 now. Don't mind him. So all the production facilities of Funny here are hurting quite a bit. Not able to really produce anything right now. Our Protoss player, which is bad. But his tech is going to survive. He's building a lot of that over here on the left side. He actually has a robotics bay. He could go into Reaver, which Reaver versus Ultra Ling is actually kind of overpowered. It's really good. So if you're going Ling Ultra versus a Protoss and then they show up with Reavers, like, just back off and maybe try something else. Hey, look, it is Reavers. The main base of Funny is gone. It'll never see the light of day again. There's no way anybody will come back here and build because all the resources are out. Hero Archon is slowly regenerating his shields here at 45 kills. Base on the right side. DT tries to take it down, but nope. Still a defensive unit here trying to save it. 144 to 74. Yoda has doubled up the overall supply here of Funny, but man, Reavers. Reaver, good unit. 2 Reavers in production. Double robotics facility. Yoda is still going for the Ling Ultra thing. And there is Storm. There are Archons. There are Reavers ready to rock. Where is your Dark Swarm? Where is your Plague? Do not attack into this without any help from a Defiler. Hey, look, a Defiler. All right. Well, now actually cast. Okay. Dark Swarm comes up. I kind of feel like a Plague might have been better. Man, these Ultras are just getting rocked, though. Absolutely destroyed here. Oh, where's our Hero Archon? Which one is it? This guy, the 49 kill Archon. There's nothing to splash on, so you gotta... Oh, the Reaver finishes him off! Lings... Nope, Reaver. Reaver doing some stuff here, guys. Double Reaver making stuff happen. Where is our Hero Archon? Do not die. Hero Archon. Stay alive, Hero Archon. No! 51 kill Archon is dead. The Ultras are on top of the Reavers. That's not what you want from the Reavers. They are glass cannons. They hit really hard, but they can be killed really easily, too. The Reavers are gone. It's 135 to 42 supply. I think Yoda's macro has just done it. Ladies and gentlemen, the probes are trying to hold the line, getting absolutely crushed by the Ultralisk Swarm. This main base has almost nothing defending it. There are some Reavers here, but they don't have any something. Oh, Funny throwing out something here and a smiley face, and then he leaves the game, and Yoda is your winner in 37 minutes and 57 seconds. Holy cannoli. What a match that was. Oh. That was a lot of fun. That was an intense amount of fun there. Thank you, BW Replays, for referring this to me. What an up and down game. Funny goes for the cannon rush, gets it shut down. Yoda gets the Hydra pressure, does tons of damage, shutting down the natural base of Funny. Not able to kill the third base, though. Funny sneaks one of those out. Also, the third base of Yoda gets sniped by some zealots along the way. Yoda finally stops throwing Hydras into the meat grinder, expands a whole bunch of times, goes into Ling Ultra. There are base trades all over the place. So many hatcheries died, so many Nexuses died there. At one point, Funny was up about 40 supply. Had the Storm, had the Archons, and really looked like he was handling this composition that Yoda was going for. But no, in the end, it was just too much. It was too much Zerg. He just had the income coming from too many places. Taking that right side base was really useful. This base was up and running here too. How much gas did he have in his bank? Not much. He was spending his money pretty well. But yeah, just too many Ultralisks. Didn't even have the +3 attack on the Ultras right now, which is fine. Which turned out to be really mostly okay. Whoo-wee. I just don't even, Great match. I thought Funny had it there for a second, but just too much Yoda. Finally threw in some Dark Swarm there. Didn't throw down a single plague the entire match. Was interesting, but I don't know. It was fine, I guess. In the end there, Yoda just had too much stuff. This unit's lost tab is going to be insane. Let's check that out real quick. But GG to Yoda getting that win. So overall, 261,000 points for Funny, 271 out of Yoda. Produced units, 863 from Yoda. It's a lot of Lings, a lot of drones, a lot of Ultras, and a lot of Hydralisks there too. 676 units killed by Funny. That's a huge number. Killed 70 Protoss buildings, which again in ZVP is a little bit skewed just because, and we know how that is. And then this right here, the fact that Funny almost won despite the fact that he was outmined for gas by 6,000, outmined for minerals by 8,000, and outspent by 11,000 by 11,000. Wait, nope, that's more. Do the math. 19,000. 19? Woo! Outspent by 19,000 resources. I mean, that's what it is, right? You kill 676 units and only lose 200 of them. That's usually a Protoss win. That's a great ratio. But the economy was the big deal here from Yoda. He's able to keep his bases. Sure, some of them got sniped from time to time, which made it a little bit harder for him to win than it otherwise would have been. Whoa. Incredible. Absolutely, absolutely insane game. Tons of fun for my first ever patron special edition of StarCraft Brood War Remastered. Wow. All right. Well, you know what? That's going to be it from me. So this has been Falcon Paladin coming at you with yet another edition of StarCraft Brood War Remastered. Go ahead and hit that like button. Hit that subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter, Facebook, Patreon, and Twitch, all at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thanks for being here, and thank you for the support, and you take care of yourself.